saying this verse to whom? So this verse is being uttered, or it's like a prayer or offering to the Lord in the form of Kapil Dev. Lord Vishnu appears as Kapil Dev. So he's at the banks there doing his meditation, and the person who is saying this is Amshuman. So Amshuman is the grandson of King Sagara. We discussed about King Sagara and how he fell into the 9th generation of King Rohita last time. And so Amshuman is basically glorifying the Lord who is meditating there. Now, who is Amshuman? Amshuman is the son of Asamanjasa. Asamanjasa was the son of King Sagara from the second wife, another wife, that is Keshni. So from his wife Sumati, King Sagara already had 60,000 sons. And we saw the last time when we discussed how this 60,000 sons perished and became turned into ashes because they came in the mood of to attack Kapil Dev, thinking that he is the cause for stealing the sacrificial horse which their father King Sagara had arranged in the Ashwamedha Yagya. So the son from the other wife, that is Keshani, was Asamanjasa. So there was only one son there. But this son turned out to be a rogue son. He used to always trouble people right from his childhood. And somehow, he was not accepted by the society, including even his father. And eventually he was banished from that kingdom. This happened, whole episode is happened in Ayodhya. So this is a dynasty of Raghukul. So it's happening in Ayodhya. But however, this son, the rogue son, Asamanjasa, he was basically a Jatismara. Jatismara means somebody who can remember his past life, past birth. So in the past life, he was a great mystic person. He could do a lot of things and he could create. So he realized his power from that, and he revived some of the people who were claimed to be lost or because of this rogue son. Like what he used to do to trouble the people, he used to catch hold of some small children and used to put them in under the water, and the parents used to search for the children all around. So it didn't go well with the citizens, also with the father, King Sagara, and as a result, he was asked to leave the kingdom. But through his mystic power, because he realized he was a Jatismara, he recreated them, he revived them, and he, much to the astonishment of everyone, these people who were missing all came back. So that was his background. So he had one son, and that son is basically Amshuman. So Amshuman is a very, very a good son. Right from the childhood, he was very respectful towards everyone, especially to his grandfather King Sagara. He had all the Brahminical qualities: Samo, Damo, Tapa, Saucham, everything. Shantir, Arjavam, Jnanam, Vijnanam, Astikyam. So all these qualities he had in him. Whatever one can think of in a Brahminical person he had. So he was a very, very pious and helping person. He always wanted to assist his grandfather because he knew that his father has done a mistake. So he was trying to basically present his true self as a good person. So looking at that good nature, now King Sagara decided to send him, Amshuman, to search for the horse. Because the previous 60,000 sons from the wife of from his wife Sumati, they came and then they went and they never came back because they were all burnt into ashes by their own fire which came from their body because of their anger temperament. So therefore, Sagara sent this boy, Amshuman, to search. So when Amshuman saw, when they reached that place, and he saw that there was a heap of ashes, complete ash heap, he knew that something was wrong. Maybe all his uncles have been now destroyed. And he saw this Muni, Kapila Muni, sitting there. But because he was a top class Brahmana, he could immediately realize that this was the Lord himself. This was the Lord himself. So instead of showing any vengeance, that as if this horse has been stolen by Kapil Muni, he actually immediately paid obeisance to him, and with folded hands he started glorifying him because he recognized him. He said that you are such a great personality. I am so fortunate to see you. Even Lord Brahma, who is the creator of all of us, from whom we are born, even he could not understand you properly. Such is your greatness. And here, it's my good fortune that I am able to see you face to face. So Kapil Dev Muni, who is the incarnation in the form of son of Mother Devati, he was actually meditating in his hermitage. So in this way, Amshuman is offering his heartfelt prayer. So this verse, what we are reading today, is actually a prayer to glorify the Lord, and parallelly, it is also offering some words of wisdom for common men like us on how Maya can trick us into illusion or moha, and thus it will make us completely attached to this material world perpetually. So through this prayer, is actually showing his compassion to the fallen souls. He says, Twan Maya Rachite Loke. That means your Maya, he tells the Lord, your Maya or your material energy, which is manufactured in this world through this Trigunya. So your Maya is actually doing all these tricks to these people who are fallen. And this is said much before the advent of Bhagavad Gita. You can imagine, Bhagavad Gita came only in Dwapar. Whereas this was spoken almost in Satyuga. So what he said as Tvam Maya, that Krishna says as Mama Maya in Bhagavad Gita when he is saying, Daivi Haisa Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya Mam Eva Yat Ye Prapadante Maya Metam Tarantite. That means this, my Maya, consisting of three modes of material nature, is very difficult to overcome. Duratyaya. But who can overcome that? Mam eva ye prapadyate. That means somebody who is surrendered to me, Krishna says, he can overcome this. Tarantite. He can easily cross it beyond. So, in this verse, since Amshuman has touched upon some of the effects of Maya upon us, we shall revisit these verses which are giving us a lot of wisdom from Bhagavad Gita. So one of the important things we learn is that, the lust, anger and greed, they are which is mentioned here in this verse also, these three, lust, anger and greed, they actually perpetually hold us in this material world. And then life after life, there's no way to escape from it. And Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, lust, anger and greed are the three gateways to what? To hell. Trividam narkasedam dwaram nashanam atmana. It completely destroys the self. What are those three? Kama, krodha, tata, lobhas. Therefore, tasmat etat trayam tyajet. We have to give up these things. We have to completely, because this is actually degrading ourselves. It leads to degradation of our soul. So we have to completely give it up. And this is coming because of the contamination. And this contamination is from Rajagun. Kamesha, Krodesha, Rajagun, Samudbhava. So the origin from this that is coming is Rajagun, mode of passion. Lord says to Arjuna that in this entire modes of material nature, from the mode of passion, this is originating, and lust, that is lust is originating, and this then transforms into wrath or anger. Kama esha, krodha esha. So they are all interconnected. Lust, anger, greed, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mat, matsarya, they are all interconnected. And the origin of all is lust. And the origin of lust is Rajagun. Because in the Visuddha Sattva, original transcendental thing, what is existing as a property of soul is prema, love. And this prema is towards the Creator, Lord Krishna himself. And then the perverted reflection in the material world of that is lust. Love has got transformed into lust, just like how milk gets transformed to curd or yogurt. And this is because of our false identification. So lust is part of this, I would say, design of the material universe. And it does not spare anybody. It does not spare anyone. Because it always comes in pairs, male, female. The fundamental attraction of male, female is a fundamental principle. And thus anybody gets captivated by this. Nobody is spared. Whether it is the great Indra who fell for Ahilya, the sage Vishwamitra who fell for Menaka after 60,000 years of tapasya, or even Shaubhara Muni who just saw the mere mating of the two fishes and his senses got agitated and he decided to come out and renounce all this penance, austerity and marry the daughters of Mandata. Just for what? Sexual pleasure. So therefore we have to understand how dangerous, what the words of wisdom that Amshuman is giving us today in this through this verse is something that we have to deeply contemplate, because this is a very visual spiral fall down that can happen if we don't arrest it, or if we don't even identify or recognize it. Dhyayato vishaya pumsam sangas teju pajayate sangat sanjayate kama kama krodhat vijayate krodhat bhavati samoha samhahat smriti vibrama with smriti vibrama sat buddhi nasho pranashyati. So you can see how this spiral downward degradation is taking place just by one thing, dhyayato, that means contemplation. So we are contemplating on certain sense objects, and then that's it. So the mind starts thinking. Mind's function is thinking, willing and feeling. So the mind starts to think, contemplate on that particular object, and then you develop an attachment. And this attachment becomes so much that from that lust comes, lust develops. And when lust is fulfilled, then you want it more, that is greed. And when lust is not fulfilled, then it becomes anger. Unfulfilled desire is always leading to anger. And once it goes to the stage of anger, then automatically samoha. Samoha is what? Delusion. You are deluded, and under deluded situation, you become bewildered. Memory becomes bewildered. Smriti vibramaha. And when the memory is bewildered, then automatically buddhi is gone. Buddhi nasho. So this is the way actually gradually we go on falling in the pool of material miseries. So we need to contemplate and think, why this is happening? Mind wants to think of an object, attachment grows, then you have to meet the expectation, greed comes, then you have to take a decision, willing, that is willing property. Now this decision has to be taken with the intelligence, but since the intelligence is completely destroyed in the situation, then the mind overpowers the decision. In the hierarchy, mind is below the intelligence. But now the mind starts taking decision, and the mind takes a decision which is a wrong decision to go after it. And then the feeling, that is, you want to experience it. So you want to experience it, and then the natural fall down happens. His Holiness Indradyumna Maharaj once very nicely, famously said that the key difference between love and lust. Love is something that you can give more than you take, and lust is something that you can take more than you can give. What a profound statement that is. So this will always attack us. As I said, this will not spare anyone. This will always attack us until and unless we get attracted to a higher taste. Vishaya vinivartante nirarasya dehina rasa varjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. So unless and until we are exposed to a higher consciousness or a higher taste, this will be very, very difficult for us to conquer. Because lust is our intrinsic quality. As I said before, it is actually love, but then it has got perverted reflection in lust. And our actual innermost desire is to love Krishna, because we are part and parcel of Krishna. Mamayamsha, Jiva Loka, Jiva Bhuta, Sanatana. We are actually looking to love Krishna. But it's a misdirected. The moment it becomes misdirected, the same love becomes now lust. So anything that is away from Krishna is lust. Anything that is towards Krishna is love. So why do we become, these victims like this? We know this, but we are still becoming victims, isn't it? Each one of us are attacked by lust, greed, envy, illusion. So the only reason, main reason, if you see the bottom line, you take aside everything else, but the bottom line is we have turned ourselves away from Krishna because we want to enjoy our senses independent of Krishna, and thus we want to lord it over the material nature. Krishna buliya jeev bhoga vancha kare. We have forgotten Krishna and we want to enjoy bhoga vancha. Nikate maya tare chapatya dare. That means immediately, the moment you turn away from Krishna, then Maya is just waiting to capture you like a crocodile. Immediately it will capture you. It's like, compared to our situation is compared to the croaking frog. We are like croaking frogs. Oh snake, I am here, please come and catch me. Oh snake, I am here, please come and catch me. That is our plight. Instead of glorifying Krishna, we are glorifying ourselves or our kiths and kins. And thereby, the snake of Maya is ready to capture us. Mahaprabhu also confirmed this in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Krishna buli se jeev bahir anadi bahir mukha. That means since time immemorial, anadi bahir mukha, we have been attracted only to the external feature. Ateva, therefore, Maya tare deya samsara dukkha. So we will be given miseries after miseries. And each time we will try to fight the miseries, and our life will just pass away. Again, next life will come. Again, same thing will do. Whereas, if one is a devotee who is devoted to the Lord and devoted to the devotees of the Lord, he is always peaceful. Krishna Bhakta Nishkama, because he is not having kama for those things which are not connected to Krishna. That is Nishkama. Krishna Bhakta Nishkama Ateva Shanta. Where everything else, bhukti, siddhi, kami, sakali, ashanta. There is no escape. Everybody in one way or other will be unhappy. All temporary happiness only, whatever we see here. So therefore, the suffering comes. So it is not that Krishna is giving us suffering. It is this way that we have voluntarily forgotten Krishna, and the nature of the law of nature is such that, suffering is presented because we have decided to go away from Krishna. It is like a thief. A person commits theft. Prabhupada gives this example. And then when he is taken to the custody, he is doing introspection like a foolish person. He is doing introspection that why this police force has been created. So Prabhupada says this police force is created for people like you because you have misused your independence, free will. Therefore, it is required. So this is exactly the reason we are misusing our consciousness each and every moment. One moment we are getting attracted to Krishna and Krishna's devotee, again next moment we are getting attracted to Maya. There is no continuity. So Amshuman, through this verse, he is showing his concern towards such persons like us who are perpetually caught in the whirlpool of false attraction. Because we are trying to derive happiness from something that doesn't exist. And this happiness, whatever we get, is anyway quite meager compared to the real happiness which is available in the spiritual world. It is said that this happiness of Maitunadi, is basically tucham, is very, very small. This sukham is tucham. So we get caught in all these kind of things because we are after our own self. As he says here, completely. He says, what does he say? Attached to the home, wife and children, they wander about in this material world perpetually. This is because of Pumsastriya Mituni Bhavam. That is the starting point is the attraction between male and female. And this leads to Hrida Granthim. That is, it becomes harder. That is, the ties are, of the heart together, rhythm. So the knots are tied at the heart level. And then the attraction between male and female becomes so strong that we start thinking that Graha, Kshetra, Sutapta, Vitair, Janasya Mohayam, Aham Mameti. That means this is mine, that is mine, this is my wife, that is my husband, this is my house, these are my children, this is my society, this is my country. List goes bigger and bigger, never ending. And we are just governed by the principles of control and enjoyment. Control, enjoyment. Unless we control, we cannot enjoy. So these two propensities are the driving forces for us in this endeavor of this is mine, that is mine, I, mine. So this is a very, very important point too for all of us to speculate, to contemplate. So the basic foundation on which we are going through, that is the attachment, wrong attachment. That itself is the wrong presumption. And by the way, this is not only for Grahasthas. The Grahasthas have got, a bigger, I would say, cord of attachment. Even in the other ashramas also, there is a propensity to enjoy in a different way. Even in the renounced order, for example, somebody might be in sannyasi, but he might be thinking that, I'm the enjoyer of this fame. I've got so much attention I'm getting. I've got name, adoration. I've got so many disciples. I've got my own ashrama. This is mine. So that also is, attachment only. But it's a different kind of attachment. So we need to come out of that, by understanding where the real joy lies. So that calls for transformation. The transformation from being self-centered to becoming fully Krishna conscious. Like Ambarish Maharaj. Use each and every limbs that we have for the pleasure of the Lord. It is said that the joy of giving is much more than the joy for taking. So, for example, somebody, a devotee, Grahastha family, they take joy, pleasure in welcoming devotees at home, in serving Krishna Prasadam, in cooking Krishna Prasadam, in honoring Krishna Prasadam, in serving Krishna Prasadam. That's a joy. Then in serving the Vaishnavas, giving charity to Vaishnavas, Brahmanas, cows. When we do this, then there's a good hope that our spiritual progress will take place. So whatever is there in our possession, First of all, it is not our possession. So we need to transform in that thinking. This is not mine. Whatever is there, I am only a custodian. This belongs to Krishna. Ishavadyam idam sarvam. It belongs to him. I have just been given a few years to take care of this. And I have to utilize this for the pleasure of the Lord. If we think in that way, then automatically transformation will happen. As Bhakti Vinod Thakur says, Grihe tako, vane tako, sada hari bole tako. Whether you are in a household life or whether you are in a renounced life, staying in the forest, sada hari bole tako. It doesn't matter. Whatever orders of life we are in, we can just practice. Gai Gora Madhur Bosore. So this then only it becomes Param Dishtva Nivartate. Otherwise it is, we know theory, but we are not experienced what is Param Dishtva Nivartate. Param Dishtva Nivartate actually means to please the Guru. Guru who is committed his life for Krishna, for the pleasure of Krishna. We cannot understand Krishna, but we can understand Guru by serving him. So for his pleasure when we do, he gets joy. And when he gets joy, Krishna is happy, and that is our happiness. Param Drishva Nivartate. Then automatically the lower propensities of consciousness, like the weeds coming around, tulsi plant will get automatically eradicated. And for this, our 6 Goswamis have done everything that they could do. They renounced their life completely. From a nice aristocratic background, each one of them came from a very, very top aristocratic background. But ultimately, they came because they saw that all that was just false identification. Taktva Turnam Ashesha Mandalapati Srenam Sada Tuchavad. They completely kicked off all the association of aristocracy and they were just trying to move about for compassion of the fallen souls in simple loin clothes. They walked around the entire Braja Bhumi, innumerable number of times on barefoot by performing all limbs of bhakti. And because of them, we are now getting some drop of what they have experienced. They showed us basically how we can be fanned further. Anukulasya sankalpa. Whatever is favorable in bhakti, please accept it. Whatever it may be. It may look like some modern gadget. But if it is helping you to grow in bhakti, accept it. It's favorable. Because we are in Kali Yuga. We cannot say no, naiti to everyone, everything. And then inside our mind we'll be thinking of some other consciousness. Instead, whatever is available at your disposal, make the best use of the bad bargain. Anukulasya sankalpa, pratikulasya varjanam. Whatever is not favorable, reject it, renounce it. Because this will not help me. What is the use? Whoever it might be, even if it is a near one, dear one, you find a way. Because at the end of the day, we came alone, we have to go alone only. Nobody is going to help us. Only our bhakti will help us. Bhakti only will protect bhakti. And we have to have the immense faith that if we follow this, then Krishna will protect us. Avashya Rakshive Krishna. Rakshishyati Vishwaso. So that is the kind of mood that we develop. And that for that only this great soul like Amshuman was going and praying before Kapil Dev Muni is actually out of concern. They are not ridiculing the fallen souls, not at all. They are actually showing concerns. Prahlad Maharaj is showing concern. Dhruv Maharaj, all these people have shown concern. So we have to start with only the tongue. Tongue is the most important function in devotion. Tongue helps you to chant. Tongue helps you to taste. So taste Krishna Prasad and serve only Krishna Prasad. So the tongue, when you start tasting Krishna Prasad, automatically will even enjoy the taste of chanting. And that, dear devotees, will give us the ultimate greater pleasure. Ramante yogino anante. The pleasure that one derives out of that would be greater. Now, I must confess here, I am not somebody who's experienced all that. I have just heard and I'm repeating like a parrot. I must be very honest with all of you. But yes, endeavor is being made, and I'm praying to Guru that in this endeavor, please help me, because I'm completely immersed in this pool of material miseries. King Rishabdev told his sons, don't work so hard for getting some pleasure out of this human life form of life, because this pleasure what one can get in human form of life can also be obtained in hogs and dogs. There's nothing extra, but rather this human form of life, he told his sons, is meant for undergoing penances, austerities, so that our consciousness gets purified. And once the consciousness is purified, we'll be able to enjoy the unlimited transcendental bliss as experienced by the acharyas when they are writing all these commentaries and Vaishnava songs, bhajans, poetries, etc. Finally, to help all of us, our dear Narottam Das Thakur has given a very simple formula in Prema Bhakti Chandrika, where he said that these anarthas which are present in us, how they can be employed in Krishna's service. So main thing is lust, kama. Krishna seva, kama arpana. So the lust, you try to engage in Krishna's service. Whatever you do for Krishna, that is automatically transformation of lust to love. So you have to constantly practice that. Like, devotees very nicely, they do dressings of the deities. Now this new temple in Thane has opened. Srila Radha Govinda Dev, that is also called as ISKCON Vaikunt Piramal. So recently, His Holiness Radhanath Swami initiated several Grahastha families here. Initiated means he gave Brahminical Diksha, because he wanted each of these homes to become top class Vaishnavas, so that they can come to the temple and they can engage in some seva. So they are taking turns every 2 days. Somebody is doing Bal Bhog, somebody is doing main Bhog, some family is doing deity dressing, somebody is doing some work in the kitchen, somebody is doing the Aarti, somebody is giving Katha. So like that, their families are getting completely absorbed. So since some of them were not Brahminical, as a top priority, he initiated them so that they can now be doing these things, and as a result, not only will it benefit them, but it will benefit society at large. Similarly, anger. Before we go to anger, I wanted to mention something which His Holiness Radhanath Swami, we were fortunate to get his association 2 weeks back during my second son Arjun Saka's marriage at Govardhan Eco Village. He said something very nice for the benefit of Grahasthas. He said how this ashram can become very, very sacred. He says, if the role of husband and wife or the purpose in the householder's life is only samsiddhir haritoshanam, only for the pleasure of the Lord, where you make Krishna as the head of the family, make Krishna as your goal, getting his lotus feet as your goal, and do things supporting each other only in relation to Krishna. Then if you do this, then pleasure, transcendental pleasure is guaranteed, and Grahastha ashram thus becomes a very sacred and glorious ashram. So this is a really good hope for all of us. Even in Grahastha, one can achieve the same result of getting the transcendental pleasure, which has been shown by the acharyas. So coming back to Narottam Das Thakur's Prema Bhakti Chandrika, where he says, Krishna Seva, Kama Arpana. Similarly, anger, krodha, bhakti dveshi jane. Krodha should be employed only against the people who are against the devotees or enemies of the devotees. Against them you can employ krodha, not for any other purpose. And the greed, lobha, sadhu sange harikatha. Our greed should not be for material objects. Our greed should be for the association of sadhu sangha and for hearing harikatha. That should be the greed. Then automatically it will become param drishta nivartate. Then moha, or moha should be utilized for ishta labha vinay. That means when we are not getting the association of the saintly people, I'm not getting the, I'm not able to attain my ishtadev or worshipful Lord immediately. That should bewilder me, and not the bewilderment of wrong identification that I am this body. And mother, that is pride or madness, should be employed in Krishna's gunagane, glories of the Lord, glories of Lord's devotees. So that way when you do niyukta karive yata tata, all these anarthas can be distributed in different ways, so that it cannot be eliminated, but it can be transformed, because it's a property we are all carrying of the material nature. It can be transformed, and then we become eligible to enter the spiritual world. The same thing even Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami explains the difference between kama and prema. He says kama is nothing but atmendra priti vancha. That means if you are having desires to satisfy your own senses, that is kama. And krishnendriya priti ichha, you get premadan. That means that desire is to serve the Lord is love. That should be the desirable mood as defined by Mahaprabhu also. Okay, so it is 8:28 now. I will stop here. Thank you very much for your nice valuable association. If there are any questions or comments pertaining to today's verse, then please come forward. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Sandvat Pranam, very nice class, Prabhu. I would like to invite our devotees. They can ask if they have any questions.
Pranams. Thank you so much for the inspiring and hope-giving lecture, Prabhu. Prabhu, during the class you had mentioned that, very beautifully that in the crocodile mouth of Maya and the croaking of a frog is a situation, and how we beautifully get trapped by the snake of Maya. And despite having endless helps from Acharyas and Goswamis, why at times we are bewildered, thinking there is no help from the material world to comfort us or support us during the time of crisis? Why is at least fallen souls or contaminated conscious minds like mine do not get wired to the acharyas at the first place before breaking down? Why is Maya so dear to us than Krishna? You had also mentioned turning away from Krishna is the root cause of all the problems, and the whirlpool of love and lust, how it is a perverted reflection. Thank you so much, Prabhu. It was very enlightening. I just wanted to know this, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So that is why we are conditioned, no? So the very much definition of Baddha Jeev or conditioned soul is that we are conditioned to certain fine-tuning of this material world. And it is such a strong conditioning. It all depends upon our prarabdha also. For how many lifetimes, what all we have committed. Based on that, the anarthas will also make it more difficult for you. That's why, Acharyas are giving us a simple solution. Chant and be happy. When Mahaprabhu himself came, the Supreme Personality of God himself came, and he knows our plight. What we are experiencing, he exactly knows. This is the condition of the conditioned soul. So therefore, a simple process has been given. Chant and be happy. Because chanting purifies internally also and externally. It gives you the jnanam and vijnanam both. Everything it gives you. And then, of course, association. So Prabhupada says, no, ABCD. Association. Association is very, very important. Association of realized souls, advanced devotees. Sri Guru, inquire, how can I serve you? An advanced devotee never says I am advanced. An advanced devotee actually asks the question, how can I serve you? That is a sign of advancement. Not that I am in the movement for the last 20 years, 30 years, and please, you people are not giving me enough respect. That is not advancement. Somebody might have come into the movement 2 years before, but that person could get more advanced than us. So the paribhasha of advancement is basically, how can I serve you? Service attitude. That should be our mood. Humble, humility. So the moment we start thinking, I know, actually it means I don't know. The more you know, the more you realize I don't know. So it is, when somebody goes to us for a singing class, the two persons, students are coming to singing class. One person knows little bit of singing and he thinks I know singing. Another person doesn't know anything. He also goes for singing. The teacher will favor somebody who doesn't know singing because it's easy to mold him rather than mold a person who knows little bit singing and then he thinks I know singing. That's a very tough job. So that is exactly our condition. We are conditioned to such an extent that we are not willing to give up. First of all, we are not able to even understand that we are conditioned. And if we understand, we don't even realize that we have to give it up. So, go with a clean slate. I don't know anything. I want to learn from you. Please teach me how I can serve you. So like that, association is very, very important. Books are the basis. B. So Prabhupada has given all the knowledge through books. Similarly, when you serve a Guru, Guru gives you direction even through books. Guru may be physically present or may be present through his instructions, through books. So when we follow that, automatically the conditioning gets loosened little by little by little. It takes time, no doubt, it takes time. And then gradually it gets completely eliminated. But chanting is the most important weapon. Most important. First thing, getting up in the morning, start chanting. Never give up this, the time will never come. Once you lose the Brahma Murta, gone. Then all the mode of passion will start attacking you. Chanting will not be good. And then anger will come. Frustration will come. The job will affect us. Household activities will affect us. Everything. Whereas when we chant, early morning, 16 rounds finished, then you see that the day will go perfect. Even the boss will be in good mood. All the work, will go very smoothly. Everybody will cooperate. There is some, inconceivable potency which one has to experience very scientifically. Okay? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Shyam Prabhu, you can ask.
You ask first, then next I will ask.
वो पहले आप करके गाड़ी छूट जाएगा. कोई तो एक जल्दी पूछो.
Okay, Prabhu. My question is like, Prabhu, Anshuman was you told that he has a Brahminical quality, but can someone understand God or his inconceivable power by just being Brahminical? He has to be devotee. It's just,
Yeah, of course.
in the previous class, we discussed Madan Prabhu also. So that's what I was just asking.
Yeah, so when we say Brahminical here, I mean it's basically not a non-Vaishnava Brahminical. See, there are Smarta Brahmanas also who are not Vaishnavas. Here when we say top class Brahminical means, yeah, Vaishnava is supposed to have all the Brahminical qualities inherent. Okay. So when we refer here, if somebody is able to identify that here is my Lord sitting and meditating at my obeisance, that means he's understood to be a Vaishnava. So when I say Brahminical here, I am referring that he's a top class Vaishnava. That is the definition. Vaishnava is understood to be a top class Brahmana. But Smarta Brahmana is not a Vaishnava. Smartha Brahmana will be more like a, demigod worshipper. He'll have some Brahminical qualities, no doubt, but you cannot classify him as a Vaishnava. But Vaishnava is above Brahmana, definitely above Brahmana. That's why we are aspiring. Vaishnava, when we practice Vaishnavism, even a Shudra can practice and he can become, there's no qualification by birth. Here when I said that he was from childhood, he had all the good qualities. See, unlike his uncles, who did not show those qualities, they were in mode of passion, Ugra Karma. They just went and then they wanted to attack the Lord. Kill him, they said, no. So that is not the mood that, here he is going in a very top class Vaishnava behavior. Immediately he went, his uncles are killed, he knew that, but then he knew that this is also Supreme Personality of Godhead, so I have to first pay obeisance with folded hands, he circumambulated, everything he did. And then he asked, only then we can please the Lord. So he pleased the Lord. In subsequent verses we'll see what Lord, then only the Lord reciprocates. Otherwise the Lord will not reciprocate. Okay?
Thank you, Prabhu. Yeah, Shyam Prabhu, you can ask. Prabhu?
Yeah, I have to move to catch the trains, but I will ask the question so I can hear after that. Prabhu, this creation, material creation is not permanent, it's temporary, but it is not false, no, because we are practically using the things. Even in your class you said it is false, and because
false identification. See, creation is real, but it is temporary. In the temporary thing, we are identifying with it, so that becomes illusion. That's what I meant.
Right. Yeah, seeing the things in front of us always, so we get so much attached to those things. Yeah. And the real thing, because we are not able to see, but that we can realize those things. See means, yeah, we are also able to experience, like eating, practically eating prasadam, we feel so much satisfied and nice consciousness and everything. So similar other things are there. We realize, but we don't grossly praise the thing. So that's why people tend to get carried away. My question is, means people generally get carried away by grossly things, by gross things. But the transcendental things, like enjoying the transcendental name of the Lord, enjoying prasadam, enjoying kirtan, enjoying the scriptures, so beautiful knowledge. So that people don't appreciate, people don't get serious for those things which really gives happiness and peace to the mind and happiness to the soul. So that is the question, means gross things people are so much.
Yeah, so this is actually happening because of avidya, ignorance. So in the conditioned state, we are having basically avidya. So avidya means lack of the knowledge about the absolute truth. So we are after the like a child, for example, when you give the child a lollipop, the child will enjoy the lollipop. But the child has not tasted maybe something that is better in taste than lollipop. So suppose if a grown-up man is enjoying the taste of lollipop, what will we say? Prabhu, what will we say? What will we call him?
Childlike only.
So basically, that is the situation. We have not graduated or matured beyond that lollipop stage. When we say we, means basically people in this, karmis. So when some good fortune has to fall upon us, whereby Aitiki Kripa, through some devotee association or some previous life Sukruti, that we get this valuable association that we are having right now, or we get a bona fide guru who open our eyes. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. So that is what they do. So the people who are doing that, they are still in that Agyan Timirandasya. So fortunately, when we come into devotee life, devotional life, this is the first thing that the Guru does. He opens our vision. Then he says, this is what it is, Baba. What you are doing is something. So automatically, we see 4 more people. I'll tell you my first, one of the initial interactions with Sripad Maharaj, when this Dwarka Yatra took place in 97, I was in total avidya. To such an extent that I told Mukund Madhav Prabhu that I have got some business visit to Baroda. So therefore, excuse me, I will not be able to join in this trip, Prabhuji. The next time when Maharaj comes, I will meet him. This was what I told Mukund Madhav Prabhu. But he did not leave me. See, look at his compassion. He did not leave me. He said, from Baroda also you can catch the same train. It comes in the night at 2:30. Why don't you get in? No, but Prabhuji, I don't have the train ticket. Again, I am trying to tell him, I don't have train ticket. No, don't worry about that. We will pull you inside the train. And then when the train came, they pulled me inside. The full bogie of devotees. I don't know anybody because everybody is sleeping in the night, 2:30. And he told me, go and sleep on the upper tier. I went and slept. Hardly 2 hours I would have slept, 2:30 to 4:30. And Mangalarti has started. Guru Maharaj is singing Samsara Dava. And I suddenly woke up. That was my first lesson of opening of the Om Ajnana Timirandasya. I just sat up and I was seeing Maharaj singing so beautifully, and everybody here and there, everybody singing. I am the only person who is ignorant. So, some kripa, in this case, it happened through Mukund Madhav Prabhu, and before that, through Jagannamohini Mataji, and before that, maybe my mother's prayers. So, some kripa helped to enter. So, like that, this goes on. When we get some enlightenment, we try to help another not so fortunate soul. This is how it goes, Prabhu. So that is why, to answer that question, does it answer your question? That is why you asked basically why people don't, this is the reason. So we all came from that background, no? Before coming to Krishna conscious, all of us were like that only. Even now, sometimes mind will wander here and there. It is there. But the propensity must have come down compared to few years ago. Okay?
Yeah, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu, thank you. I got it. Yeah. So what we got also, we should share it. No? We should also help others.
Exactly. You're doing such a wonderful preaching seva through bus party and other things. So automatically, when Maharaj's books are distributed, intellectual but ignorant souls, they are getting, their vision is opening. What is the real knowledge they're getting? And then they become devotees. So exactly the same way, bro.
Yes.
Yes, thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very nice.
And, yesterday we went for preaching, so today also going for preaching.
Wonderful.
So I want to explain a little about that Mataji's question, that why our bonding is so great with Maya.
Yes, Prabhu, please go ahead.
Yeah. So if you permit,
Yeah, please go ahead, Prabhu.
So Mataji is still there?
She's there.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. So Mataji, our bonding with Maya is there because of our desire. That's all. Krishna Vimukh Jeev. We have turned away our face to Krishna. So therefore we are here. And why this bonding is there? Because we are tatastha. It is something like water is a liquid. Water is a liquid. Ice is not a liquid. So water has this intrinsic property to be in liquid state. Similarly, the soul's intrinsic property is to be tatastha, Shakti, marginal energy. A marginal energy has independence to either surrender to Krishna or come out of the surrenderance to Krishna. So, it is only our desire, Mataji, which is again, as Prabhu conveyed, it is due to avidya. Because of our ignorance to understand Krishna, So it is something like we want to understand the Lord, but we want to understand the Lord through ourselves. Is it possible? It is not possible because the Lord is infinite, we are finite. So if we want to understand the Lord through ourselves, that is also Maya. And if we want to understand the Lord through material energy, that is also Maya. So this avidya, this root cause for our great bonding, and the more and more we are into the vidya of the reality, then we will be coming out of this. Now, the transformation is little difficult because we are so much conditioned here, but 5 things are very important. What are they? 64 limbs of devotional service, 5 things are very important. What are they? Chanting, listening to Srimad Bhagavatam, Sadhu Sangha, Madhuravas, staying in a devotional environment, and Sankirtan. So these are the, yeah.
Srimurti Seva.
Yeah, Srimurti Seva. So deity service. Among these, if you consider association might be difficult. Deity service might be difficult. Madhuravas might be difficult. We may not stay in the temple all the time. But chanting is always possible.
Yeah.
Whether offensively or offenselessly, it is always possible. So this chanting we do gradually will come out of avidya, and the more we know about Krishna, the more we are out of Maya. The more we are into Maya, the more we are out of Krishna. So it is like dual role. Something like I am into mobile, I forget where I am. And if suppose I am in a forest, I don't carry my mobile, or I put my mobile switch off, then I don't know what is going on in the mobile. So it's 2 worlds. Something like that.
Krishna Surya Saman Maya hai andhakar. Jahan Krishna Tara nahi Maya Radhikar.
Yes, Prabhu, sure. And definitely for all this, fortune is required. That is, for us to have this good fortune of coming to real Krishna consciousness, a fortune is required. Now this fortune is called Bhakti Poshaka. It is called Bhakti Poshaka fortune. That means it's not like doing anadan or some karma kanda things that we get this fortune. To get this fortune, we have to do things that will accelerate our devotional service, like visiting temple, following Ekadasi, Janmashtami. These are the things. So going to temple for puja, for aarti and all these things. So these are like, in the nascent stage of devotional service, they will add the Sukruti, and after the Sukruti, the mercy of Guru will come. And once the mercy of Guru will come, then we need Shraddha, faith. And then from faith, we can gradually come to the higher levels of devotional service. So, here I am seeing in Balaji temple, so difficult deity service, they are serving day and night, or Pitamba Prabhu. I've been there from yesterday afternoon, seeing whole day and night there after deity service only. So it's so difficult, and it's very demanding deity service. But chanting is so easy. We don't need anyone, we just need the Lord. Our main problem is while chanting also we are thinking of other people, other things and all. That means we want to understand Krishna to other souls. It is not possible. So please contemplate on this, Mataji. Thank you so much. Nice question. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Dandavad.
Ramajay Prabhu, very nice, insightful thoughts. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. So, Prabhu, we can conclude for today. Yes.
Okay. All for giving me your nice, wonderful association this morning. And hopefully with this, I will be making some progress through your association. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Patita Pavan Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Patita Pavan Srila Gurudev ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Anant Koti Bhakta
Shyam Prabhu ki jai ho.
Sri Padma Raj ki.